This is the Global Miranda Minor Group, our home of the culture of Malasakit. This is the Global Miranda Minor Group, our home of the culture of Malasakit.
Mga kamiranda mula sa Luzon,
I love you 3,000 Kamiranda!
at sa Visayas, at sa iba't ibang panig ng Pilipinas. Ngayon sa buong mundo.
Hello, Miranda!
I love you 3,000. Hello, Miranda.
Ooh, like sounds like a pro.
He taught me everything I know.
Oh my
I
God.
knew nothing about crypto until I followed him. So this is the master right now.
Asahan po ninyo na talagang nataguyod pa po natin ang pagiging educator.
Subscribe, like, follow, and share. Sige na please, Kamiranda. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the one and only, the voice that introduced, pitikin kita sa ilong, isang hampas na lang ng palakol, the power of yet. Please, let's give it up to our pambansang crypto coach, Coach Miranda Minor.
Ayun, hello. Isang maganda at meaningful na gabi sa inyong lahat mga kamiranda. My name is Coach Miranda Minor and welcome to another edition of our cryptocurrency technical analysis, fundamentals, exclusive interviews, and everything about crypto all in one channel. Ang tanong, nakarating na ba ang mga main character sa probinsya, mga kamiranda?
Ikaw ay nakikinig kay Coach Miranda Minor sa Daily Crypto Live.
Ayan, na maraming grabe yung exodus ng mga sasakyan, no? Nakita natin dyan yung sa mga screenshot ng ating NLEX and SLEX. Sobrang bottleneck, no? But obviously, it's parang ano na yan, no? It's an expectation. Tawagan nila exodus in Manila. And what a better way to cap the Friday night na habang wala po halos ginagawa ang mga tao kung hindi makinig, no, sa mga usapan, sa mga marites, no, at sa mga buhay-buhay ng ibang tao. So of course, no, another exclusive interview meron tayo ngayon mga kamiranda. I'm very honored to have, you know, a known and professional crypto trader and blogger in our show for tonight. Nakakataba ng puso, no, na binibisita tayo, no, ng mga magagaling, no, na mga kilalang mga influencers and vloggers and of course traders in the industry. Ang problema dito, Kamiranda, dahil sa guest natin, unang-una, pakiramdam ko mas mayaman sa akin to. No? Number 2, mas pogi sa akin to mga Kamiranda. So, pagpasensyahan nyo na, ayoko talaga nag-guess ng mga mas mayaman at mas pogi sa akin. So, pagbigyan nyo na. Okay? I'm just kidding. Minatawa ko lang po kayo, no? But of course, I'm very happy because my guest for tonight is a seasoned entrepreneur for 20 years, no? Chris Tan is actually in the crypto space for quite some time now. He's actually first investing in Bitcoin since 2019 and has been deeply involved in the crypto space as an investor, trader, and vlogger. Ayan. In 2021, he was the marketing head, no, for OKX in the Philippines. Wow. And he's also one of the most trusted crypto bloggers in the Philippines. And tulad ni Coach Miranda, ang kanyang mission is to help people understand and invest in crypto. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my guest for tonight, none other than Chris Tan. Hello!
Kumusta, Coach Miranda? Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm really honored to be here today.
Thank you. Kamusta naman, sir? Or Chris, kamusta naman? How's your Holy Week so far?
So far, alam mo, ang sarap talaga sa Manila na nakaalis na lahat ng tao. So meron tayong sariling vacation dito sa Metro Manila. So it's been good. It's been nice and quiet. Walang traffic.
Walang traffic? Oo nga, no? Grabe. At least nakaka-enjoy tayo ng Manila. Sabi nga nila, pag Holy Week, pwede kang magpatintero in EDSA. No? Mga
Actually,
tao
totoo yun. Pero alam mo ba, lately napansin ko, parang dumadami na yung tao na nagsistay sa Manila during Holy Week compared to the previous year. So, medyo walang traffic pero medyo mas maraming kotse compared sa normal. So, especially na may BGC, maraming tao din eh.
Hindi siguro napansin nila, parang everyone's going to Tagaytay, ang hirap malak dyan, di ba? Nakakalak yung traffic dyan or in Baguio. Di ba?
Oo.
Parang they also trying to avoid the crowd. And
yes.
Which is interesting. Anyway, so Chris, I'm very happy that you're here in our show. I think the last time we were talking offline kanina, the last time we saw each other was in the Blockchain Week, no? And gusto kong makilala ka ng aking audience. Ayan. So I know you've been in the industry for quite some time. And it's a light bulb moment for me, and I'm very pleased to hear that you used to be part of OKX in the Philippines. Nice.
Yeah.
So kilala mo ba si Rahim, or Rahim was prior ano?
What year was Rahim? I think he was before me, if I remember correctly. Tapos, I joined them in 2021, around March, if I remember correctly. Tapos, the market was turbulent. Although it was on the way to the new all-time high, but it was turbulent. Tapos, we did it for 6 months, and then after that, we parted ways. And that time, OKX wasn't a big player in the Philippines. It was a very difficult time to dominate the exchange game with Binance being so big. So and then after that, I decided na vlog na lang and trading na lang. Masasaya eh.
Nice. And you're also into you're also in investments, no, particularly for crypto. I guess my first question to you is, especially that we need insights from someone who has been in the industry for quite some time, no. This 2024 quote unquote rally and bull run, may mga bagong participant ngayon na they did not experience 2021. Define to us this bull season, and how do you think this is quite different? Meron bang difference from the past? And any insights on high level siguro? Talk to us about 2024.
Sure. So, alam mo, 2024 was this is a great bull run for the people that just came in this cycle. And natutuwa nga ako dahil lahat ng mga pumasok in this cycle, I would tell them, alam mo, you're not experiencing the volatility na we experienced in the last bull cycle. Yung 20,000, bababa ng 50, naakit ng 30, the spread was massive. And not only that, we had to wait long to be able to reach that all-time high. As a matter of fact, to get to that 69,000 all-time high in the last bull cycle, which is 2021, we had to wait 18 months after the halvening before we got that. This bull cycle, imagine mo, nalampasan na natin yung previous all-time high before the halvening. This has never happened in the history of Bitcoin. So we are in price discovery. Right now, we're in price discovery, obviously. So yun ang isang pagkakaiba. So number one, volatility. Number two, the fact that we are now in the all-time high before the halvening. Number three, institutional players are in. Back then, walang institutional players. Back then, it was all retail. Ngayon, when you talk retail, that's you and me, everyone that's been buying on the exchanges. And even just with retail, we were able to hit $69,000. Now, imagine mo with the money of the institutions coming in. Wow! Kung hindi ka pa pumasok sa Bitcoin, I think this is this is going to be the last great bull cycle for Bitcoin, the last one. But it doesn't mean the price isn't going to keep going up. It'll keep going up, but this is going to be the last massive bull cycle, parabolic. I call it the God candle. It will happen on this cycle.
Interesting. Wow, God candle, ah. So, interesting. So, Chris, I agree with you. No, institutions are here. I think we're sharing that on the same perspective. Pero, so right now, as traders navigate, so to your point, itong volatility ngayon, minamani ito ng dating volatility. Before, sobrang lapad ng mga volatilities.
Oh, yeah.
How should a trader, in your opinion, how should a trader navigate this bull run?
So, alam mo, it depends on what you're trading. If
Sure.
you're trading the altcoins, altcoins are definitely more volatile. But alam mo, if you always have to look at Bitcoin because of the Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin will dictate where the market's going to go. So it doesn't matter what altcoin you're trading, you always have to look at Bitcoin as your parang your standard. And then you see what Bitcoin is doing, and altcoins will follow what Bitcoin is doing. So that's one way that you have to look at it. Secondly, you have to really, depends on what kind of trade you do. If you do spot trading, which is literally just buying and selling of the cryptocurrency,
Right.
that's safer. Kasi you're just holding the coin. Now, if you're holding meme coins, that's going to be more dangerous kasi that's when that massive volatility could eat up your investment. Ngayon, if you're doing leverage, yan, pwede kang masunog talaga. For the people that don't know what leverage is, that's when you pretty much borrow money to be able to 10, 20x the amount
Your
of
capital.
coins you're buying.
Correct.
And that's when it becomes dangerous. So, ang rule of thumb ko talaga for everyone is you keep your bets. For me, ako, I do 5% of my margin. So, ibig sabihin, let's say, you're gonna want to trade, let's say $500 at a time. That means that you have to have, may pondo ka dapat na, kung $500, dapat meron kang 10,000, 5%. So,
Tama.
10,000.
10,000. Yeah, you're right.
1,000?
10,000.
Is it no $10,000, right? You have to have a $10,000 pondo for a $500 bet. That's safe. You go beyond that, especially when you play mga altcoins. Pwede ka talagang masunog. I've seen these altcoins move. Man.
Massive,
You want to
no?
play safe? Ako, Bitcoin is a safe play. For leverage trades, Bitcoin is a safe play. So that's how I would recommend people to navigate this, whether spot or leverage. You have to be conservative.
Nice. So depending on their risk capacity, they could choose the coin, that they would like to trade. Understanding, to your point, much volatile. You could still trade it. However, put context on the position size. So 5% of your capital, at least you're limiting your exposure. So, Chris, I find it very interesting because maraming traders ngayon, and you've been here for quite some time, maraming traders ngayon na-discover ang crypto from different channels, mga different channels. And dumadami na ngayon ulit ang mga influencers. Do you agree with that? Dumadami yan, no? What do you say about this? And what can you say about, obviously you've seen many bull and bear cycles. What can you say about these types of new influencers? And what can you say to the community on how can they size up someone that they need to follow, listen, and kind of navigate listening? Kasi marami maha-hype na naman, diba? What can you say about this cycle again of influencers? Go ahead, Chris.
Alam mo, ang ingatan mo lang talaga, there are a lot of influencers that are shilling coins. They get a project, they get paid to promote it, and they'll promote it without really understanding the risk side of some of these platforms that they're promoting. So yun ang kailangan mo lang ingatan when you listen to some of them. Now, like we always say talagang when it's a bull cycle, everyone's a genius.
Totoo yan. Everyone is a hero.
Diba? So, I think you have to listen to several, not just one, para lang you get different perspectives and opinions on what's happening. I have nothing bad to say naman about a lot of the influencers kasi may mga iba dyan naman sa tagal pa sa akin, and we know some of these influencers na they've shilled bad projects, and they got burned for it, and they got bashed for it. But I think, my best tip for everyone is literally do your own research.
So do you think the community today has learned already, knowing there were many cycles, not just for coin prices, but also ang dami ng issues, FTX, Luna. Do you think, the market is being more mature now, Chris?
You know what? Maraming mga bagong players ngayon. So, I think we have improved. The ones that have been through the last cycle to this one, maraming learnings from there. But the ones that are just starting now, that are really pushing it, but that have not gone through that bull cycle and then the following correction, kulang pa rin eh. But generally, I think like for yourself, stock trader ka dati, and then from stock trading you move to crypto. So you have the trading skills. You just chose a different product, a product that's more volatile, where it can, make more money, diba? So I think that's where people should follow when they're talking about trading. Now, when you're talking about people that are in the crypto space for fundamentals, I actually consider myself more of a fundamental crypto vlogger. I talk more about the fundamentals of what's going on. I trade, but I never give advice on trading generally. I'll tell them what I do, but I always say there's a lot of better traders out there. I'll actually always pass it on to like guys like yourselves in Tito Vlogs. I'll say, talk to them if you really want to learn. May mga courses yan. I don't do courses or anything. So be careful of also mga vloggers that, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with charging for lessons kasi it's really your time. But tignan mo na rin kung talagang do your own research. Yun naman sabi ko eh.
Right.
Ang daming scammers kasi dyan eh. At ang daming influencers that are really willing to sell their name without understanding the project.
Right. So magandang point 'yan. So sa mga kasi I mean napansin ko lang, Chris, no. Marami kasing gusto ring maging influencers. Mga student Friday, influencer Monday. Diba? And of course, you and I, we have been, in this industry. Bigyan mo nga ng konting tips lang, maiba lang tayo ng konti. If you would like to become an influencer, ano ba yung mga, as a vlogger, meron ba tayong ethics na sinusunod? Is there anything that you think will make sense for someone before they kind of move into this world of vlogging? Kasi syempre, ibang discipline ito no? Bukod sa pagkapa-cute, maganda kung cute ka na, kung pogi ka na, kung sinito ka na, di ba? Meron ka ng panghatak, di ba? But, I think there's also responsibility of influencers in guiding the audience through this bull cycle. Ano ba yan, Chris? Can you share some insights sa ating audience?
So, when it comes to vlogging on crypto, first, really do your research. Huwag ka lang salita ng salita kung ano yung binibigay na script sa'yo, tapos, babato mo lang. Your integrity is more important than the money. I'm sure you've done it, di ba? Yung we turn down projects pag alanganin. And recently, I was supposed to promote this exchange, and then hiningi ko lang yung basic information about the founders. Ayaw bigay sa akin. And it was they were gonna pay well, and I just said no. I said I can't do it. You don't want to give me the people that own the company. I don't understand why you don't want to give it. So I just literally canceled the deal. We were about to shoot, and I just said, hindi na lang, wag na lang. Integrity as a vlogger is very important. Money you will always make, but you have to have the integrity. Pag mawala integrity mo, ubos ka. Doesn't matter. You sell out, you're done. Once ka lang magkamali, it's over. I mean, a lot of vloggers nga, even influencers in the States made that mistake. And even in the Philippines. They even went to jail for promoting a product, and then kahit na nga wala silang kinalalaman doon sa crypto project, nag-promote sila, nadamay din sila. And that's, as an influencer, I think people have to realize that your first priority is your integrity, not the money. The money will follow. If you have the integrity, the money will follow. Yan ang isa. Pangalawa, talagang it is important to know what you're talking about and to to be factual, to back up your information. I've made that mistake early on where I said something, yung knee-jerk reaction on a post I said, and then as soon as nag-react ako, I realized mali yung info. Pero once you release it on the internet, ay good luck talaga sa'yo kung
bandwagon
kumalat
pa
yan.
man ng mga tao ngayon. Like, isang nag-comment, lahat na yan.
So yun lang. So you have to be very careful with the information you share. And that's why you have to be more responsible with the information you share nowadays, especially with the cybercrime laws, libel laws, cyber libel laws. You really have to be very careful on what you're shilling or what you're sharing and the information you're talking about.
I like what you said about integrity. It's non-negotiable, no? Kasi it will define you. No, I mean, whatever happens, it's gonna be your surname, di ba? It's gonna be following your name. Let's go back to the point that I took note here. So you said that there's an institutional play on this rally, no? So are you also saying that you don't see this as a retail play yet, and they have yet to come into the picture? And when they come in, can this potentially put us, more to your point, the God candle?
Okay, so there is a retail play through the institutions. Kasi when you talk about institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, Vanguard, all of those asset managers, they handle retail investors' money. So though that's the retail investors going into crypto through the asset managers. But apparently, from what I've heard, maraming retail investors na hindi pa nga pumapasok pa rin sa mga ETF na to, yung exchange traded funds where people can easily buy Bitcoin through these asset managers. Ngayon, institutions pa lang yung mga bumibili. Hindi pa pumapasok yung karamihan ng mga retail clients ng mga asset managers na to. So, there is that play coming in. For people that are going to be buying Bitcoin on their own, that was the block before. It's very difficult pag hindi ka sanay sa crypto, how to navigate it and everything. Unless you're a trader from the stock market and you see the chart and everything, you'll know what to do. The buy, sell, you know how to do that. But for everyone else, it's hard to do it on your own. So they prefer to have a broker do it for them. This is where all the asset managers come in. So with the asset managers coming in and the amount of Bitcoin they're buying on a daily basis, and their planned allocation for Bitcoin in terms of the percentage from their total fund, malayo pa sila. Like BlackRock right now, it's probably at 0.5% of their total portfolio of $9 trillion.
Grabe, no?
Is in Bitcoin. 0.5 pa lang, ha? You know, their target is about 4%. Minimum, 4%.
And 4% is obviously the right just position size, or slight exposure pa lang, no? I mean, I like that comparison. Go ahead, Chris.
And I want to add that yes, that's what they're saying publicly, that they want to have at least 4 to 5% exposure in Bitcoin for all their clients. Okay, so let's say it's $10 trillion. You're talking about $500 billion in Bitcoin just from one asset manager from BlackRock. All right, that's the public recommendation they're making. Do you know that they did an internal study in BlackRock? They asked their people to do an internal study on Bitcoin. And in that internal study, they were recommending as high as, if I remember correctly, it was way above 50%. They were recommending up to 60-70% of all their portfolio in Bitcoin. That's the internal study. Of course, that's just an internal study. So the 5% is conservative to where they really want to go with this.
When 5%, to your point, did I hear you right? Around 500 billion? Is that the 5%?
500 billion, that's just from BlackRock.
So imagine if the market cap today is only 1.3 trillion of Bitcoin. Imagine, if you're a weak hand, you're just selling your coin to the institutions.
The institutions, absolutely. Di ba?
Right? It's quite interesting.
Kaya nga it's funny, like when people tell me we're hitting 70, 74,000 and I'm getting messages like crazy. Benta ko na ba? Benta ko na. I'm like, oh God, you're not seeing the big picture. If you sell now, my God, you are gonna miss out on that massive growth you are gonna miss out on this. And they're like, pero paano kung bumagsak? Hindi yan ba? I mean, yes, the volatility is there. It
Right.
could go down. But in the long run, you're talking 5 years, my God, where we're gonna be in 5 years from today is gonna be so different from where we are today.
And these
So, and-
institutions, go ahead, finish your thoughts.
No,
Gabe.
sorry. Just one point to that growth, ano? Alam mo, December last year we were only at, if I remember correctly, $42,000.
Correct.
I think that was it. Imagine mo, I was telling my friends, bumili ka na ngayon because after January 10, it's a different ballgame.
Right.
My friends that listened are lucky they did. They bought at 42,000, rode it all the way to where it is now, 70,000.
Sobra.
The ones that didn't ended up buying at 68, 69,000, okay pa rin. But of course, you'd prefer to buy it cheaper if you could.
Right. Actually, yung sinasabi nga nila, I mean, Michael Saylor always says, I keep on buying on the top. Kasi yung top na binibili niya always becomes the bottom at a particular cycle. I just wanted to reinforce what you said, no? So institutions are buying, and I think, yung mga yan, they just don't buy it and sell tomorrow. Obviously there's price to maintain, services to maintain, cost to maintain. It's quite interesting that for me, in my own opinion, they're not going to be buying it to be sold tomorrow. Their foresight will be 5 years, 10 years. Their CAGRs for this will be 40% minimum for stocks. In my own standpoint, 40% in 5 years. Malaki na yon. Some investment companies will consider 8% per year. And then 5 years will be 45 or 40%. Pero pang Bitcoin, parang kakaiba, Kasi to your point, nag-peak na prior halving. So let's talk about halving. Do you see a potential dip muna and then rally? Or what's your potential trajectory for Bitcoin, Chris?
Alam mo, I'm an eternal optimist.
Sure, okay.
And which is very interesting because in one of my crypto groups, meron akong mga talagang absolute bears that keep calling for a $40,000 Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, yung isa nga doon sa mga traders, sinasabi, prepare for a 30,000 Bitcoin. And I'm like, wow. I go, really? You think it's gonna go there? I go, I don't think so. So and then she kept changing her forecast because nga it wasn't gonna hit 30. I don't think it's gonna hit 30 talaga eh. At the lowest 50, sabihin na natin, at the absolute lowest. But even 50 is improbable in my opinion, especially with the halving coming in. So as an eternal optimist, although I do believe there will be a dip, I think we have seen the dip already. This last one was that last dip, I think. But again, I mean, who knows? But regardless of whether there's a dip or not, I keep telling people, bumili ka na ngayon. Anything below $70,000 is a bargain at this point. Do not try to time this market. Just buy and then hold. No matter what kasi, if you're just investing, a long-term investor, a hodler as we call it, you're gonna be benefiting from this. Majority of people that are listening are probably not even traders, so don't try to time this market. You will make more money hodling than you would trading for the same amount of money. If you put $10,000 in Bitcoin, for example, hodl it versus trade it, you'd probably make more money hodling.
I like it, and I think we're on the same page on calling out people to enter prior January 10 because of that ETF approval, no, for Bitcoin. Dagdagan ko lang ng konting question. So, we're talking about Bitcoin ETF. I'm sure you've heard Ethereum ETF. Do you think it's timely, or you would want to have Bitcoin to be more mature muna before a brother comes into the picture?
Alam mo, ako personally, I prefer that Ethereum, if it's delayed, I'm just as happy for it to be delayed. I don't think there's a rush for it. But I think the asset managers are rushing because they themselves have already created their first tokenized fund. BlackRock created their first tokenized fund, and they already are looking at real-world assets that they can tokenize.
Right.
They're looking at a lot of RWA, real-world asset projects in the crypto space. Marami. There's a list of 10 particular projects they're looking at, very small caps. And that's why they're rushing the approval of that Ethereum ETF. Now, the Ethereum ETF, whether it comes later or sooner, if it comes sooner, I think it's going to create this mania that will create a massive volatility that you can take advantage of if you want. But I tell people now, bumili ka na rin ng Ethereum. It's under $4,000. It's at 3.6 or 3.5 right now. I don't know what the price is today. I think 3.5. Buy it at 3.5. That's a good price because that ETF, May 24 is
May
the final
24.
date of approval. Yeah.
Right.
From the SEC. They could
Correct.
still reject it and ask them to refile. But given what happened with Bitcoin, there's a strong probability that they'll just wait till the 24th of May and then approve it. Now, here's the thing. You've got the January 10 approval of Bitcoin, demand shock. Then you've got the supply shock happening for Bitcoin in April 19. And then you have the May 24 possible approval of Ethereum's ETF. On top of the fact that Ethereum is following the Bitcoin cycle and all alts are following
Right.
it, you could look at Ethereum this year probably hitting easy $10,000 per Ethereum.
Wow. So you think that this quote unquote regulatory clarity for Ethereum, once they gets an approval from SEC, would just have a rush of demand from people
Yeah.
who's doubting it.
Yeah, so Bitcoin right now is their best performing ETF. In all asset managers are saying that this is the best performing ETF, and 65% of all trading volume happening with the asset managers is Bitcoin. 60%, over 60%. Ngayon, when the Ethereum comes in, they're going to be very bullish on it because they see Ethereum as the base layer of the new internet, the base layer of
They're gonna
Web3.
be
That's where they
tokenizing,
see
yeah.
Ethereum.
Right,
Diba?
right.
Kaya they're gonna be very bullish on this one and they're gonna want to get in as fast as they can on this one because they themselves know that it's going to just pump the price. Now, the movement, I think they're going to try to lessen the impact of the approval of the ETF by slowly buying Ethereum rather than just pushing it all in 1 to 2 days. Kasi even with Bitcoin, napansin mo, noong January 10, hindi siya
Right.
spike eh. It was a slow, gradual
Nag-sell
increase.
on news tapos biglang umakyat.
Oo, di ba? Yung kala mo parang walang nangyari for about a week or two. And then
Correct.
suddenly just started going up na and you're like,
That
whoa!
I remember January 15, I was telling everyone, you guys need to buy. And then few days after yun, sumabog na.
Di ba? And
Yeah.
then from 52,000, I don't remember, it's like sometime in February, 52,000, it went to 60. It literally
Correct.
jumped from 52 to 62.
There was a consolidation at that time. 54,
Yeah.
nag-break out, sumipa ng 60 plus. Correct.
Diba? That was insane. Akala ko nga, that was about Feb 16, we were talking about it. Sabi namin, 52, 53, if it holds, it's gonna go to 58. Oh my God, it went way past 58 all the way to
60 plus.
62 and I was like,
Correct.
wow.
Correct.
So yun.
Correct. So ang ganda ng insights, Chris. Miranda, if you're learning, type number 1 kung naiintindihan. And of course, don't forget to click on like and subscribe mga Miranda. I like the discussion about, the next couple of months. No, obviously may regulatory play bukod sa halving. Ang daming magagandang balita, no? I mean, it's just parang actually with my community, pinag-uusapan namin noong January, Coach, parang it's too good to be true. Parang ang sarap maging kasama ng community na alam mong saan pupunta yung coin. Kasi the news and the FA is driving the price, not just pure trading price action. If I'm gonna be asking you this time, ang dami kasi maganda, like, I mean, to your point, merong regulatory parity, may halving, it's supply shock, etc. The question is, if there's going to be a black eye here, yung panggulo, yung wet blanket, do you see a potential political play, exchanges going down again? What's gonna be negative in your radar, Chris? Meron ba?
Okay, being an eternal optimist, I hope not, but there could always be a black swan event. Ngayon, for exchanges going down, it's possible. Government is going hard on the exchanges right now. KuCoin just got charged with money
CEO,
laundering.
right.
They're being fined a penalty of what, 2 billion, something like that. So I think the US is going to go after all the exchanges that are not registered with the United States. Kasi napahiya sila with FTX eh.
Right. That's right.
FTX is regulated and then yet that's the one that scammed people. And yet, look at Binance, who's not regulated. And yet, you don't see Binance scamming people. They went after Binance because of a parang why were you recommending US citizens to use a VPN or to go through this channel?
They need,
You can't do that. Yun lang yun eh. So it's not like CZ did something to betray his customers. No eh.
An
So I
scapegoat.
think Yeah, ginawa, yeah, exactly. And they wanted to make an example of him, and the Philippine government followed suit. Now banned Binance as well. So yes, there could be all of the centralized exchanges being banned. That's possible. But ito yung caveat. We are now entering the phase of the decentralized exchanges, the DEXs. And I'm starting to check it out nga because I still don't use DEXs as much kasi kulang pa yung trading pairs na I want to trade, and I don't want to put my money all on MetaMask ganun. Pero that is the future of all trades. It will be on DEXs, and it's going to be amazing when that happens. So I think if all the centralized exchanges were banned, it's going to force the evolution and the adoption of the decentralized exchange, which is going to speed up the adoption of Web3, where all of us, all traders, are now going to be forced to use decentralized exchanges and then see how much better a decentralized exchange is compared to a centralized exchange.
Good point. Good point. So on that note, obviously you mentioned earlier about the KuCoin issue, etc. Do you feel that at some point may mga darating na negative issues, but it's a bit priced in by the market? The market already feels okay na yan, mangyayari na yan, akit pa din tayo. Do you kind of feel that market temperature at this point?
Yeah, alam mo, right now, if you look at the greed fear index, we're totally in the greed side right now. It's massive greed. And we've heard all the bad stuff about crypto and Bitcoin for the last, since in the inception of Bitcoin. Parang halos nawawala na nga ngayon yung mga negative connotations that are attached to Bitcoin before because it's easy now to prove the mali-mali naman yung mga assumptions na binibigay ng mga tao. Not just that, when now you have legacy financial institutions and players like Larry Fink, who is now the most massive crypto bull, how do you tell any investor here or any trader here na scam ang Bitcoin when you've got the biggest asset manager, the biggest brokers
buying
talking
Bitcoin.
about Bitcoin? Right. So it's an easy sell right now. Crypto is such an easy sell to anyone.
Right. Interesting. So let's kind of move on from the Bitcoin piece and the trading piece. So I've been seeing questions here in our community, no? So they like that they're hearing eternal optimist from you, etc., etc. Can you give us a little bit of definition? When you say eternal optimist, what does that mean in layman term, Chris?
Alam mo, it means that I like to look at the positive side of anything. Even when the pandemic happened, I remember March 15, it was so memorable.
2020.
Right, 2020, and the price of Bitcoin dropped to $2,500. Alam mo, this is how much of an optimist I am. When I saw it drop, I wanted to buy. I could not get in a bank. Kasi back then, you can't just do a bank transfer online.
Right.
You have to go to the bank or to a Lawilier, ano ba yun? Yung Palawan Express to be able to put money and to be able to convert. It's just a difficult process. I wanted to buy at 2.5. Hindi ako nakabili at 2.5. I was able to buy at $7,000 was the first one, and then I was still able to buy at $5,000. And this is how much of an optimist I am. Even in the last bull cycle, when it hit $60,000, I was still buying. And when it dropped to $15,000, I was still buying. That's how much of an eternal optimist I am. Even with the bad news, I do see the silver lining in all of it. What happened with Lebanon? Look at what happened with Lebanon.
Grabe, no?
Grabe, di ba? Yung massive explosion that created this trickle-down effect for the economy that destroyed their economy. What did the people do? The government did not allow the people to withdraw their money from the banks. That catapulted Bitcoin and crypto into the foreground kasi that was the only way they're going to be able to secure their money outside of government control. China banning Bitcoin, banning exchanges in China back in 2020 or 2021, if I remember correctly. What happened? Bitcoin kept moving up. So regardless of what government does, Bitcoin will always be that, I look at it as safe haven yan eh. And it's your hedge against government control. It is your hedge against custody. Kasi when money is held by governments, they have custody of your money. This is your hedge. This is your only protection.
Nice.
That's how much of an eternal optimist I am with Bitcoin, that even if a bad thing happens, that's actually in the long term good for Bitcoin and good for us.
Sabi nga nila, Chris, no, millionaires are born in the bear market. Ito yung mga talaga nagtitake advantage ng mga dips. No? I would like to ask, so I'm happy you shared about you buying on the 7K and when everyone is so fearful. No? Kasi, kumbaga, the market is a bandwagon. People are trend followers. So if everyone is scared, bihira lang ang mga naghahanap ng mga diamond hands, ika nga, you know. So can you talk to me about, in your experience, two things. Number one, what is something that you're somehow not so proud of? And at the same time, what is one thing you're really proud of in your career? You know, something you really want to brag about. For example, you know, you are the one who bought it to 7,000. Now you're enjoying profits, etc., etc. Talk to me about those two sides. No, I want our audience to hear the two sides of an internal optimist. Go ahead.
Okay. So the bad side of the internal optimist is this. So I remember, and this is the part I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
I remember I was buying, can I say the S word?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shitcoins.
Yeah.
I would. So being an eternal optimist, I was seeing all these projects, and I was so happy to see all these smaller projects with low market caps, and I would buy them. I would throw a lot of money in them. And I remember there was this one project that they had an exchange, a decentralized exchange. I started with $1,000, and then I put it up to $5,000, and my $5,000 went up to $10,000. So I added another $5,000, and then so total I had mga $12,000 invested in it. It went all the way to $25,000 up to $30,000. How much of an optimist I am? I was such an optimist. I didn't cash out.
Oh, okay.
I kept saying, no, it's gonna keep going. And then when the whole market collapsed, I lost all of it.
Oh.
And ito na, my biggest mistake in the last bull cycle. Not only did I buy shitcoins and I spent a lot on shitcoins, I leveraged. I did margin plays. So I used my Bitcoin holdings to borrow money. Borrow USDT using my crypto.
Right.
And then I bought more at the top. And then when everything collapsed, remember your collateral is, say, Bitcoin. Now, you have to have enough collateral to cover your loan.
Margins, correct.
Pag yung collateral mo lumiliit, maabutan yung loan mo, you get liquidated. They'll take your collateral to pay for that loan.
Correct.
Thank God, hindi pa ako naliliquidate. Can you believe it? Until today.
Tinalo mo sila 3 Arrow Capital noong 2000 yung pabagsak na lahat di ba? Everyone's getting a margin call. Nice. Nice.
It was very scary. I got some pretty bad close calls. And thankfully, I've survived. Even with my leverage trades, I've had some really close calls that I could have gotten completely wiped out. And thank God, I've never been wiped out.
Nice. So on the flip side, the goodness naman, obviously, I would interpret, hinold mo siya and then right now you're enjoying all those profits.
Okay, so the other side is, because I'm an eternal optimist, the one I'm not proud of is, I did not sell at the top and I lost all of it. Those projects got delisted and nawala, they disappeared. Okay, so I lost that. There were some projects that nung bumaba sila, as an eternal optimist, I looked at it and I said, you know what? I bought this because I really believe in that project. And then I look at it, I go, I still believe in the project. So what did I do? Since I still believe in it, I bought it at the absolute low last year.
Was it, put a name on the coin, Chris, if it's okay.
Okay, so one coin that I bought at $19 is Solana.
Okay, good.
Very happy with that purchase. And I remember when it was at $19, I said, "Uy, okay to ah. Anything under 20? Okay, let's go." We went in. I went in na. And I told everyone, I'm not gonna sell this until it hits $500 minimum.
Nice.
So meron na akong ceiling price for a lot of these coins. Now, what I learned from it is, once you're ready to take profit, you gotta take profit. except for Bitcoin, everything else, I'm going to take profit.
That's a very good point, Chris. No, so put some profit stops on those, with the exception of Bitcoin. I share that insight. I share that same definition for you. I'm on the same lens with you there.
Diba?
Yeah. Kami naman, last year, it was more of the, I call it the blue ocean. It's more of the ordies, yung mga inscriptions on BTC. Market cap was around 200 million low. Ngayon, 1.4 billion na sila. Nag-10x sila. So, really interesting. It's really, you need that type of, I'll put it based on how you describe it, it's really more of your principle as a trader. Kasi, I mean, kung wala ka naman prinsipyo, bibili ka sa taas eh. Bibenta mo yung pag natalo only for it to go high again, market structure. No? Let's siguro, I mean, a couple of, grab it, we're already almost top of the hour, it's 10 o'clock. Sobrang bilis, no, ng oras natin. I would like to ask the community, kung meron kayong questions sa ating guest for tonight, I would just need to read some of the insights here, Chris, no? Some of them were watching us in Blockchain Week. Sabi ni Crypto Delo, dapat magkaroon ng remake si Coach Miranda, Chris Tan, and Chinky Tan, mga chinito. Ayan. Sige, subukan natin. Kukontakin ko si Kuya Chinky. Chat group ko naman 'yan. No, kontakin natin 'yan, no. Sabi ni Crypto Delo, ayan, basahin ko lang ulit. Medyo nawala yung screen natin. Ayan, basahin ko lang 'yan. So, okay, hirap talaga ng live, no? Alright, okay. So, sabi ni Ivy Crypto, Luis B. Okay, si Luis Benaventura. I-claim na yan. Actually, Luis is gonna be my guest naman, no, Chris, by April. Yan,
nice!
April. Ayan. So, sabi ni Sinbad, I like this guy, no, very smart, sabi nila. Sabi ni Kuya Mike, Antalino, very smart si Kuya Chris. Ayan. Thank you for that comment. Ayan. Sabi ni Benji, always talaga need mag-take ng profit. Ayan. So, alright. So, RWA project na binabantayan daw. Meron ka bang inabantayan, Chris, ngayon ng mga RWAs?
Wow. I really try to stay away from mentioning projects. There's one I looked at this morning. PolyX.
PolyX.
Okay. Polymesh, I think it's called. Symbol niya is PolyX.
Okay, guys, not a financial advice to, ha.
Yeah,
so we're just answering
I'm
your
not
questions.
like, this is super low cap, kaya for me it's, if you really want, put $100, $200, something you can just afford to just play with and lose. Ganun lang. Ganun ako magano. But to be honest with you, I really don't want to recommend to people, especially if you don't understand crypto stick with Bitcoin. Kasi panalo ko with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is gonna 10x. Eventually, it's gonna get there. So why even try to bother? Just don't be too greedy. Crypto in itself and Bitcoin is the best return you're gonna get safely. So, but for the ones that wanna do mga altcoins, I mean, if I was gonna try to tell you which ones that I'll actually look at my my portfolio here para I'll share with you guys some of it that I bought recently that I cost average down. So I came in on these ones high, and then nung bumagsak yung market, bumalik ako at a much lower price na. So let me see if I can see my portfolio. Ayan, portfolio. Okay. So, I'll give you an example of some of the coins of Immutable X, IMX. Yun, I came in at a high, and I bought at, I think it was like $1.50 maybe, I think it was. I don't remember the price I bought na and then Engine. I bought Engine. I bought back kasi I put a lot of money in Engine. Gala's another one. Near Protocol I bought. And now it's up 250% from the time I bought. Loopring, yon, isa pa yon. And of course my fun play is Bonk. Yon, Bonk naman is my fun play. So may mga ganun ako mga binibili. And Ordi naman. Ordi, I came in Ordi I think it was under $20 when I bought it, or somewhere around there. So those are some of the plays I did. And those are the fun ones. But siguro if I were to try to premise it, coach, eto lang, you have to remember that 80% of my portfolio is Bitcoin.
Good.
So that's why I can afford to play with the 20% and take a little bit more risk. Kasi Bitcoin has my back eh. That's my foundation.
I was about to ask, why is that your approach? And I think you're answering it. Go ahead.
Yeah, kasi when you have Bitcoin, who's really safe, you can afford to lose 99% of one coin. Kaya nga nung the whole time the market was down, I was okay because my Bitcoin, I mean, sure, it lost 70%. But compared to 99%, that 70% loss was nothing. And now, wow, now it's sobrang...
It's compensating it gives you some room for losses because
Yes.
majority of your coin obviously is a coin that's being bought by institutions. Kasi
Yes,
I mean, being very honest, may mga traders na baliktad eh. Diba?
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing it the opposite. They're doing 80% mga high potential coins, but there's also high potential coin for it to go like zero, rug pull, etc.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. I'll give you an example. A couple of the friends I know that are traders, they started trading this year. Wow, this is a really good story. It's a cautionary tale. There's one trader that I know. Of course, I'm not going to name names. And she made in 1 month. She traded and made 27 million pesos in 1 month. I mean, I have never made anywhere close to 27 million pesos in 1 month. I'm going to be honest, not even close. And I was like shocked. I was like, wow, damn, that's really good. In June, she lost 30 million.
Grabe, no?
So, yeah, grabe.
Is it because of the coin diversification niya, or what's the reason for that?
So, one was the diversification. She was in way too many coins. Her leverage, her margin was way beyond 5%. So any movement was going to affect her, and she played a lot of the meme coins. The ones that are super volatile, that yes, it could make you a lot of money, but when it goes south, voila, there's no salvaging that. And learning how to cut loss, yun yung isa pa. Yung knowing when you gotta cut the loss and and catch it at a lower price. Ganun na yun eh. Pag hindi ka marunong mag-cut loss, yan ang pinaka papatay sa'yo talaga.
Lalo na sa mga meme coins, some of them are even doing average down, buying and buying and buying.
Yeah, and you're catching this falling knife thinking
Right.
it's the bottom, and then bam, bam, it keeps going down. So you gotta learn to know when to cut loss. And whatever you plan to invest, start with, let's say if you say, for some of you, let's say you have $1,000, you want to do leverage trade.
Sure.
Well, that means you play with $50. Yun lang. $50. Okay, have the discipline. And kung wala ka ng bala, hold it. Do not be tempted to go above that.
Sure.
Because that's how you're gonna really lose. And play Bitcoin. Ako play Bitcoin, play Ethereum, play the safer ones.
Right. Right.
And all others, I mean, take a chance. Pag when you play altcoins, you gotta take a chance.
Right. Grabe, no? So, the time is, it's almost 10 o'clock, Miranda.
Wow.
I know people are asking for part 2. Definitely, we'll do a part 2 kasi ang ganda ng usapan namin. Parang nag-uusap lang kami kayo nakikinig, no? Siguro 2 questions na lang, no? Chris, if you don't mind. Number 1, Eternal Optimist, I like, kasi we're the same. I am on the lens of really buying and buying and buying lang Bitcoin. Talk to us about your exit strategy for Bitcoin. That's number 1.
The what, sorry?
Exit strategy. What's your exit
okay.
plan for Bitcoin? And then number
Right.
2, I'm gonna be asking you to do a little bit lang of a mention of I love you 3000 Miranda for our audience, and then invite them in your social media channels kasi I'm sure they will learn a lot from you. Chris, the Mirandas will learn a lot from you. Let's go on those 3 requests. 1, exit plan. Number 2, I love you 3000 Miranda, and invite them in your show, in your channel as well. Go ahead, Chris. Floor is yours.
All right. So, unang-una, my exit strategy for Bitcoin, I don't have one. I'm gonna keep buying Bitcoin. And the money I make on the altcoins, I move it to Bitcoin. So, what I actually do now is this. This is my new trading that I'll share with you guys. For the first time, I'm sharing this. I actually now trade with the Bitcoin as the base currency. Okay, so now it's Ethereum, Bitcoin is what I'm trading. The next one I'm gonna start trading and I'm studying it now is Solana and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the base currency. Why Bitcoin as the base currency? Kasi if you trade it to USDT, tapos you cash out na, you sell, tapos pumalo ang Ethereum, you're gonna be left behind. Pumalo ang Bitcoin, you're gonna be left behind. But if you trade it with the trading pair of Ethereum, Bitcoin, you will never get left behind. You will either have Bitcoin or Ethereum. You will either have Solana or Bitcoin. So hindi ka maiiwan no matter what. And if you look at the cycle, the charts naman, if you chart Bitcoin Ethereum pair, wow, it's like a lagging indicator. Makikita mo talaga una Bitcoin and sumusunod Ethereum. And it's like a wave pattern. It's almost a flat wave pattern. And it's so easy to chart and make money on that. So that's my strategy, not an exit strategy, but that's kind of the strategy where I'm going to keep putting money into my Bitcoin, accumulate more Bitcoin. That's the strategy there. Okay. Second, I love, okay, so.
I love it,
so I just have to
3,000
say,
ka,
I love you,
Miranda. Go ahead.
3,000.
Lahat kasi ng guest ko, pinapabigyan ko ng ganyang line. Kung okay lang naman. Okay lang ba, Chris?
Absolutely. So, okay, I love you, 3,000, mga ka-Miranda out there. And please, subscribe to my YouTube channel and my TikTok, or you can follow me also on Twitter. And it's I am Kristan. So letter I, letter M, Kristan. I usually on Twitter, I'll give short form mga updates on fundamentals, analysis, and mga news. Those quick ones are always on Twitter. Long form naman, YouTube. That's where I really make a lot of mga in-depth perspectives I have and opinions I have on the crypto space and Bitcoin. And TikTok is the short form, mas simplified version of all my crypto topics.
Grabe, on that note, basahin ko lang ang comment. Sabi ni Ian, ganito ang gusto kong guest. Sabi ni Ian Miguel Raimundo. Sabi ni Rinal, ilang oras na ba agad yun? Ang ganda ng usapan. Sabi ni Dino Dionisio, let's go for part number 2. Parang ang dami nagre-request. Chris, you need to say, we cannot, parang how can I say no to this? Sabi dito. So, I agree ang bitin. Ayan. Ang galing daw, may point ka, sabi ni Bobby Axelrod on your pairs, no? Your Ethereum Bitcoin pairs. Yes for part 2, sabi ni Mark Tixon. John Ray, yes for, ang dami nangingi ng part 2, Chris. Bitin, bitin daw. Di namamalayan yung oras. Kulang na lang daw ang beer. Nako, parang ang sarap daw kasama ng dalawang ito pag nag-iinuman. Grabe ang bitin. Alright, anyways, I think it's all because obviously breath of fresh air ka, Miranda, no? And as I've said, we've been really looking to have Kristan in our guests in our show, Miranda. If you've learned something, please also follow Chris in his social media channels. I am Kristan, also in his YouTube channel. On that note, maraming salamat, Chris, and I hope paunlakan mo ulit ang aming invitation from you. And I know it's supposed to be a family day, but sobrang swerte kami, no? Friday, binigyan mo kami ng oras kahit Holy Week. Salamat, sir. Salamat
din, Coach Miranda. I really appreciate it. I have a lot of respect for you and your community, what you do. You guys keep sharing the knowledge and sharing the wealth. Let's make all Filipinos financially free and actually able to maintain their wealth.
Amen to that. Salamat. Salamat, Chris. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ingat. Ayun. Alright. Nako naman, Chris. Sobrang thank you naman sa inyong pagsali sa aming show. Nako, Miranda, if you've learned something on this episode, wala na ako idadagdag kasi sobrang insightful ng aming discussion. If you find this really insightful, follow nyo rin si Chris, no, sa kanyang social media channels. And of course, sa mga team replay, comment kayo sa ating comment section, no? At ilagay ang mga tanong kung may mga tanong mga Miranda. Maraming salamat sa almost 800 viewers na nagstay sa ating channel, including Twitter, Facebook, and also in YouTube. Ayan, no? Ayan, salamat daw, no? Maraming salamat sa mga mga nagustuhan yung ating show for tonight. Alright, batiin ko lang yung mga Miranda natin. Chris Chin TV Official, maraming salamat sa comment mo Sabi niya, part 2 daw, no? Ayan, salamat. Okay, part 2. Nako, ang dami nagre-request talaga. Nako, Chris, no? Salamat sa inyong wisdom. Ayan. Part 2 and part 3. Sabi ni Troy, part 2. Ayan. Part 2 din. Ang dami. Alam mo, iba talaga pag ang mindset nagkakatugma, no? Pag parehas kayo ng iniisip, parehas kayo ng lens, parehas na kayong binibless, iba na mag-isip, no? Talagang giving back to the community, talagang may principle na, no, and nakakatuwa. Alright, sige. Miranda, on that note, okay, sagutin ko lang to. Yung PCE na lumabas, medyo hindi maganda. Pero since holiday po, Friday is a holiday, Good Friday, there's no US trading. Medyo tahimik ang market. Pero medyo hindi maganda yung PCE. We're going to see if the US market is going to decide on that. Alright? On Monday. Okay? Salamat. Next AMA episode, sabi ni KG, wala daw dull moment. Salamat. Ayan. Pwede pa rin magtanong kahit team replay. Sige, oo. Tanong ka na lang doon, Edu. Ha? Alright, salamat sa mga moderators na nasa live din natin for tonight. Okay. Ayun po, no, maraming salamat Miranda. I love you 3,000. Please enjoy your time with your family. No? Today, this week is a holy week pa din. No? Gamitin natin itong time na magnilay-nilay. No? And of course, if you have time, no, please plan for your next steps next week, no, on your trading. Gamitin ang long weekend to reflect not just on yourself spiritually, but also in a trading lens, mga Miranda. Gawin niyo pong araw-araw na kasabay si Coach Miranda Minor alas 9 gabi-gabi in our YouTube channel. Maraming salamat. I love you 3,000 and shalom. Hello mga Miranda, maraming salamat po sa inyo dahil tinapos yung ating content for today. Kung kayo po ay merong natutunan at tingin nyo ang inyong mga kapamilya, kamag-anak, kapuso, kapatid ay makikinabang sa ating content, please don't forget to click on like, subscribe, and of course, i-follow nyo na rin kami sa aming mga social media channels, mga Miranda. Ito po ay makakatulong para we can further disseminate our content to the larger population. Muli, maraming salamat po.